This is Marketing Jam, a podcast featuring the brightest minds in Canadian marketing.
Why don't you tell us your name, your role at the company, and the company you're with?
I'm Mike Gettis. I'm the CEO of Endy.
Awesome. And just to start off, tell us maybe some of the apps that you are in love with right now on your phone, and maybe some apps that you just can't live without.
Yeah, well, definitely an app that I love, that I use a lot is Uber. I've started using Lyft a little bit more as they've come to Toronto, but they're still picking up a little bit, but definitely enjoy those. I mean, email, I'm always using email.
So which app do you use for email?
It's called Nine. I have an Android, so it connects to Outlook and whatnot. I'm still on sort of an Exchange server. It's still the best way to do email.
Great.
And Slack. We use a lot of Slack for work, so we're on there a lot. Shopify for our sales. We look at Shopify, so I use that app all the time. And it's great. You can look at reports. It's got everything you need. So
that's awesome.
I bug my wife at the dinner table a lot.
Because you're checking.
I'm always like, okay, look at
Shopify.
Yeah, and we get a good uptick. Like people like sit with their partner and they decide, okay, let's buy a mattress together. I think that's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in the evening is when we see a nice little
that's
uptick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anyone else any fun ones that you've been playing with lately that you're just trying out?
Games, I do play Boom Beach.
Okay.
I saw a TV ad, and it saw like, I don't know, I loved the whole idea of Pacific theater. I mean, I don't like war, but the idea of Pacific theater where they were like ships coming into beaches and this sort of thing, it fascinated me. And how that, like they skipped islands, and there's a good show. It was after Band of Brothers, they had another show about the Pacific theater. So anyway, I played Boom Beach,
So, and I don't know if you can tell us in a nutshell, but tell us maybe how Endy started and how long it's been around.
Endy started in 2014, but we actually launched to the public in 2015. Yeah, so we're hitting our 3-year Endyversary this month.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thanks. So basically, I mean, the big thing was about the mattress from the beginning, is building a better mattress. That's what got me really excited. I love sleeping. And so I was like, if I can build a cooler mattress that I sleep on, that's not going to break the bank, and something we can do online. And I love vertical e-commerce. I love Canada. So like, let's focus on Canada. Let's do vertical. Let's do sleep. And that's what really got us going. So the obsession with the mattress was about something that's comfortable and supportive. A big thing we also found as we went down the road with it, that in Canada the temperature swings a little bit. So some of the memory foam, the traditional style ones, can get firmer in the winter and softer in the summer. So we made it so it's more temperature agnostic for the Canadian climate. So it's little things like that. And as well about making it so there's airflow in the foam and it's cool and all that. So that's been the obsession.
That's very cool. I need to ask, have you met Christine McGee?
No, I have not.
Do you hope to one day?
I do,
If she's watching right now, what would you say to Christine McGee?
I would say there's now another place to buy a mattress.
That's great.
Come to Endy.
And would you sing it like that? You're like, there's another play. I guess you can't even do it with the jingle, right? For those that don't know, Christine McGee is the president of Sleep Country Canada. Yeah. So you are the alternative. There's no bricks and mortar.
No.
Right? You haven't done the kind of Indochino, clearly pop-up shops or anything like that?
We've done a pop-up shop.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say bricks and mortar in terms of like standalone stores. But a big thing of it too is like, you look at the old traditional model in terms of like, we look at a marketing funnel ourselves. Prospecting was the store, foot traffic, walking by your store, and then you would advertise through the paper or whatnot. And so for us, we're turning that in reverse, where we're looking sort of bottom funnel up, where we're getting people to come online and see people who are already searching for mattresses is where we started, and we're like, check out Endy.
Google search?
And now we've moved up the funnel to the point we now run out of home ads, and we have the ability, like people now are finding out about us before they found
billboards,
or searching
bus
for mattress.
stops.
Like before they're in the mattress purchase way of thinking or what have you. So that's been a big part. And so eventually we're going to work our way towards retail. We're looking at retail partnerships. We have boutique retailers that we work with, like furniture stores they're all around Canada. So that's been really great. So it helps drive foot traffic into their stores. People that want to try an Endy and that sort of thing.
And it's like, oh, if you want to try an Endy, here's the 3 spots in your area.
Come check it out. And then they have the ability to say, hey, they sell bed frames or lamps or tables, and they also get a win out of it as well. But there's no obligation, obviously. Like, people can just come check it out and leave if they want.
And other channels that you're looking at for 2018 that maybe are different or unique?
Retail's big, but I think we're looking at it from an experiential perspective. Like bringing up the Sleep Country thing, we look at them as sort of like where we're aiming towards. We want to try to eat some share from them.
Yeah.
So the idea is we want to do it differently.
Would you have a jingle?
I don't know. We thought that's the only thing. Can you have a jingle? Like, I feel like sometimes with marketing, it's about positioning yourself in a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we could have like a riff, you know, like something like that. Yeah, the Endy riff.
Get me my Endy. I need my Endy. I'm so sleepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like
Or a lullaby, maybe.
Yeah, that's even better.
Right.
I love that idea.
We're working on it. We've got some ideas coming, but
Eric Mercer, the organizer, he's a musician.
Yeah.
You should talk to him.
Yeah, we should.
He's a kind of slow jam,
he's
soul
a
jam guy.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So experiential. So what would that look like?
Experiential, we really like. So we're looking at just ways to get in contact with people. So one thing we did was we connected with This Open Space. We did some pop-ups, which was sort of like an Airbnb for pop-ups.
Awesome.
And then there's a bunch of things in festivals. In some ways, because competitors may be watching, we don't want to get. I don't want to get into all the details, but we have a bunch of cool ideas that are coming. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. For sure.
And I imagine you've played in the influencer space. You've sent some to influencers, and they
influencers are
it.
great. Yeah, and I think what's awesome for it is most of them are just so excited to be part of the brand story and get a piece of our product and try it out and share with their family, and it's been awesome. Yeah, they've been really fantastic. Yeah.
Who are some brands or companies that you're watching this year in 2018?
I really love Harry's Shaving.
Okay.
I've always looked to them. A big reason I love them is because of the way that they've really turned shavings on its head. Like I had the same Gillette razor for ages, and I wouldn't replace it because I was like, to spend $25 on a whole pack of like 3 blades or whatever, it just never made sense to me. And then I was kind of like, I don't like this anymore. So then them coming around be like, we'll refresh your blade all the time. And it's like, so, and I like the e-commerce model and the free returns and all that sort of stuff. So I really love them. Warby Parker's really cool too. They have I don't wear glasses myself, but I really do like the model.
Do you wear flasses?
Flasses, like the ones
fake
without the
glasses?
Like I heard this is now a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, people just wear
have
glasses.
Flasses.
Yeah, because you appear intellectual.
Well, I also got ones with this blue tint, so it helps the screen glare.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and I think I also really like Frank and Oak. They're really cool. They're a good Canadian company.
Based out of Montreal.
Yeah, they've done a great job, and they've gone full into retail, and now they're branching into women and men and doing e-commerce, this style thing. So they're pretty cool. Those are some of my favorites.
Indochino, have you followed some of those?
Indochino, I have. I've never bought a suit from them, so I haven't gone through the process. I like them, and I like their branding. They're pretty cool, and they're in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
They had like a full store here in Toronto at one point. I don't know if it still is. But.
I don't know if they have a full store in Vancouver now.
Nice.
So permanent shop. So
well, and the retail still is going to play no matter what in the future. I think with Sears and some of that, some people start to say, "Oh, retail's dead," but no, it's about really focusing on where it is. Like just putting a store up in a high traffic location isn't the way to build retail anymore. It has to be thought through to a different level, and the omni-channel, how the channels play together, and how that store fits into the journey and all of that stuff.
So you got to this place, you started this company, it's national, it's well known, it's on bus stops. How can someone get to the place you're in right now? They're listening to the podcast, they're watching the show.
Sure. I think a big part of it for us was just finding the right model. We found something we were passionate about, being willing to fail. I mean, I think we had about 3 or 4 ideas we tried before, and they didn't really work. And we were like, okay, cool, let's move on.
And we being was it a group of friends or?
Me and my partner. Rajan. He did a speech at the DX3 earlier. Nice. And so we tried a bunch of stuff. And then I think a big thing is like the sleep area was the one I always was the most passionate about, and so we saw really good success there. I worked for a company that sold mattresses in Europe previously, so I already had some intuition to go this direction. And so we had some ups and downs. Like early on, there were some times that like we weren't sure how this would take off, like within the first few months, and it was like sales were coming in, but like, are we really going to be able to scale it? And I think part of it was just never really taking failure as a learning, and not as looking at it as like, this isn't quite working how I wanted to. Like I'm personally not that. Like just enjoy it, enjoy the journey, be passionate, find something you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, you're not going to do it, right? You're going to give up.
And you won't put those extra hours in, and you won't have resiliency.
Yeah, and sometimes those extra hours are just like just sitting thinking, right? And it's like you're not necessarily typing an email or writing a report. You're sitting there just kind of like, okay, what's my next move, you know? And it does take a lot of time, so it's good.
Yeah.
So.
We were talking earlier, I love listening to podcasts, and I would often get ads for Blue Apron. And eventually I looked into it to get Blue Apron for me and my family, and it's not in Canada. So I found Chef's Plate, and
Chef's Plate's great.
And I've fallen in love with Chef's Plate. So they're from Toronto, and they're now in BC. They have a distribution center there. And we do a couple meals a week from there.
Nice.
So same thing, my wife pointed out, these ads for this mattress, because we were in the market for a new mattress, and saw that some of the, you could rename nameless, the ghost of the other mattress company, and saw the ads in the newspaper and saw it. And then, but when she did the research, she found Endy, because she says, hey, I saw these ads for this other company, but Endy it's in Canada, at better reviews. And so what are your thoughts on like?
Yeah, it's okay to talk about Casper. I think a big thing for us is they got going right around the same time we did. Really launched quite quickly.
Like almost
in Canada, the launch was like right around the same time.
Were they in America first and then they came
They
up?
were, yeah. And I think a big thing for us is we didn't even know, like we were already getting going, we were ramping up, and they were able to get launched about a month before us. But still, we were like, great, no problem. I think a big thing for us is like, let's, instead of it being a tack on to the US business like they have, our focus has continually been to be Canada first, right?
That's awesome.
And we built our distribution so that like we actually have a warehouse that's opening in Vancouver.
Oh, congrats.
So like we're focused on all the small towns, we're focused on the cities, we're focused on purely across Canada. And I think a big part of where the love is coming in, also in terms of our mattress, like from the very beginning, we've really focused on building something that works for Canadians, right? It's not just something that we're not just trying to build something that we can now just build a cookie cutter model and send it around the world, right? We want to build, stay, and become an iconic Canadian brand. That's really our goal at the end of the day. Yeah.
When looking at your Shopify store and looking at the analytics there, does the one thing you look at is saying when you do make a sale, isn't just celebrating the sale, but also monitoring where it came from, where the traffic came from, the attribution?
Yep, we've started looking at that. I think the one thing is with attribution is it can be a bit of a fool's errand, because especially like say you look at the two titans of digital, Google and Facebook. Facebook's attribution model is wonderful to tell you how Facebook has given you everything, and Google's is fantastic at telling you how Google drove everything, but they don't talk to each other. So you're never going to get a perfect picture of it. It will still rely a little bit on intuition for intuition. And a great thing is talking to customers too. Because most customers will know, like, the touch point that got me, like some people will say, I saw you on the TTC. Or they'll say, like, I saw you on Dragon's Den or whatever, and that'll be the thing that was, and most of the time it's an emotional moment where you're like, that's pretty cool. I want to check them out, that sort of thing.
And your Dragon's Den experience, you mentioned it. Do you want to tell us about what that was like as a Canadian, being on a good Canadian?
It was nerve-wracking because I'd watched that show before it even started Endy, and always kind of thought what it would be like to pitch them, and then to actually go on and be able to pitch them was really cool, right? I think a lot of people who have watched the show have that experience. So but I have to admit, it was very nerve-wracking. We were about to start, and then I was all ready to go, and then they said, you know what, we're going to wait till after lunch, and then we came, and so we had to wait for another couple hours in the green room, and my palms got pretty sweaty. But by the time we got out, it was great. I think it was well received.
And it was worth the effort to do it and go through the process.
For sure.
Awesome. Very cool.
Definitely.
Any magazines or books that you recommend to marketers out there?
I definitely really read a lot of HBR, Harvard Business Review, really like that. I actually like, when I look back even to when I did business school, the Kotler textbook, I don't know if anybody reads the old style traditional marketing stuff. I really like it now that we're doing more offline, and as we've gotten going, I think I'm a digital thinker and a digital first marketer, so I could go on and on about clicks and attribution. But when it comes down to it, there still comes down to like a product and a fit and the market and the demo and the person and the human, and I think getting to that human connection is super important. So I do like the sort of old style version of it as well.
It's really cool. And podcasts. So we're on a podcast show right
now. Podcasts
now.
are amazing.
Any podcasts that you're in love with right now, or that you follow on a regular basis?
the Unmarketing Scott Stratton's given us some really nice shout outs lately, so I've been following them a little bit.
That's awesome.
He did. It was really nice of him, and so I was really loving sort of what we're doing. Canada Land and that one, been following that one a little bit.
That's awesome.
They've been great.
Those are two of your favorites probably at the moment, would you say?
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
Podcasts are awesome.
And I know you can't lift up the hood too much to what's happening in 2018, because I know you've got some surprises for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Tell maybe listeners, why should they go to endy.com, right? Or what are they going to expect when they go to your website after listening to this?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a very authentic, awesome experience there. The people in our office, the people that answer your emails and will call you, sit right within a stone's throw of my desk. Like it's the type of thing where everyone really cares a lot about every customer, and just the whole thing is the customers are everything for us. So that's really important.
And what do you sleep on right now? What size is your mattress?
It's a king.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife sleeps pretty close to my end. It still feels like a queen, but it's good. I like it. Yeah, the cuddling is always good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell me nap times. Do you take regular nap times?
So my young son takes naps, so I use this as an excuse in weekends where I can be like, well, he's napping, so I might as well take a nap as well, right? So I've gotten back into his napping schedule.
Have you considered an Endy fiesta or siesta?
This siesta idea in Spain when I was there, I was like, this is brilliant, right? Like you can sleep in the middle of the day, and then they work into the evening, which I'm a night person. Yeah. I was like, we need to import this idea.
Yeah. Have you tried yet?
I haven't in our showroom itself because it's a customer showroom.
Oh, okay.
But I want to have another show. I think the next office we're gonna have to build one that we can sleep in, take naps.
If you come to Vancouver, or next time you're in Vancouver,
perfect.
Hootsuite has a room called the Nap Room.
They need an Endy sponsored nap room.
Yeah, because right now it's these almost like army-like mattress things.
We got to get them Endys.
You should.
Talk to Ryan.
You should talk to Ryan. And Ryan, if you're listening,
Ryan.
You got some Endy hookup here. You know who to contact, so you could upgrade that nap room to make it even more awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks a lot.
Really appreciate it. So make sure you check out Endy, the Canadian alternative to the friendly ghost from the US.
Yeah.
And great customer service.
We're the market leader in Canada.
Market leader in Canada.
Yeah, they're the ghostly alternative to us.
There you go. Thanks for joining us on today's show.
Thanks.